I think we can all agree that One Piece has a lot of great moments. In this video I will try to limit those moments to other characters and not the main characters, the Straw Hat Pirates. The Straw Hats are the main group and the majority of the sign goes directly onto them, but today I will try to ignore them and shine some light on other great moments in the story that does not include them. Like and subscribe for more anime and TV show related content. If you have some great moments you want to say, please drop them in the comment section. Now let's go take a look at our top 10 best moments in One Piece that does not involve the Straw Hat Pirates. Smoker is definitely one of my favorite marines and I really like this character, but to be honest, Smoker was basically just a jobber in this fight. This fight was the equivalent of a squash match because Doflamingo basically defeated Smoker with ease without even doing any fancy attacks. The argument can be made that Smoker just came out of a tough fight with Vergo, but then again, he also was dominated in that fight and Vergo is one of Doflamingo's subordinates. But I actually do like this fight even though this fight is very one-sided. The animation was actually great for One Piece standards. But getting back to the real reason why this fight made this list, and the reason of course is the one and only Aokiji. What makes this moment so great is of course the arrival of former Admiral Aokiji and just the total badass entrance he made, saving Smoker just in time as Doflamingo was about to finish him off. Doflamingo is of course no pushover character and he almost immediately got out of being frozen by the former Admiral. But I fully believe that if there actually had been a fight between Doflamingo and Aokiji, Aokiji would have definitely won the fight. Although this is not one of the best choreographed fights in the story, what this fight represents is why it made this list. The outcome of this fight is why the Paramount War happened. This fight is why Blackbeard has 2 devil fruits. This fight is why Blackbeard became an emperor, and this fight is one of the biggest reasons why Ace died. This fight also does a display of how strong Blackbeard actually was, because Blackbeard was low-key being hyped up since the Drum Kingdom. Blackbeard was also hyped up by Shanks when he went to Whitebeard's ship and he warned Whitebeard about teeth. A character like Shanks warning a character like Whitebeard about Blackbeard really makes you wonder how strong Marshal D. Teeth really is, and the fact that Blackbeard gave Shanks that scar also makes it very interesting. I would have loved if they gave this fight something extra, because Blackbeard is a major player in the story. There is a lot of hype behind this character and a better display would have really done his character justice, but this was still a great moment, otherwise it would not have made this list. Oda is a very sneaky guy, so he will probably blow us away the day Luffy and Blackbeard get into a real fight. A fight that has been foreshadowed since their first meeting in Mocktown. This is one of the greatest moments in the anime. I know that recently Big Mom and Kaido also had a similar clash, but this one is just more iconic. This was the first interaction between 2 emperors we saw in the story. It was also a great moment to make us even more curious to how powerful these Yonkos actually are. Shanks and Whitebeard were so powerful that their clash alone was able to split the clouds. Apart from the impressive showcase of power, this meeting also had great significance because this is directly related to Blackbeard and Ace. This is the moment that specifies how big of a threat Blackbeard really was, because if a character of Shanks' caliber would go all the way to Whitebeard to warn him about teeth, it just shows us how dangerous of a character Blackbeard really was, and this was proven when Blackbeard defeated Ace and went on to take Whitebeard's devil fruit power. Kizaru was the second admiral to officially be introduced into the story, and out of the 3 admirals I feel that his introduction was the best. Admirals are hailed as some of the strongest characters in the story, and basically all pirates fear admirals. Here we got to really see why pirates should fear them. Aokiji had a flex related display of power when he met the Strawhats, but this was just an overall better display of why any pirate should fear the wrath of a Navy HQ admiral. Just his general lazy attitude and the amount of destruction he caused alone made this incredible to watch. This introduction was basically just an entire flex because he was basically just walking over everyone in his path without putting too much effort into it. Characters with 100 million berry plus bounties were easily defeated without any effort. I feel the only reason none of the supernova were caught was because Sentomaru interrupted Kizaru. Kizaru was about to kill Hawkins, but just as he was about to, he got a call from Sentomaru. I feel that he could have easily taken down any of these pirates, but his personality is probably why all of them escaped. Had it been Akainu to step up, the result would have been completely different. Law was accompanied by the Strawhats during this fight, but they were not directly involved here, and I just wanted to mention this because this is such a disgustingly underrated moment in the One Piece story. I really hate the fact that this moment is not mentioned enough. Not only did Law manage to cut right through Vergo's full body Taki, he was able to cut right through the entire lab plus an entire piece of the mountain. Vergo had the rank of Vice Admiral. Even Smoker could not defeat him and he held the same title. This fight was basically just a one-sided fight in Vergo's favor. The only reason why the fight dragged on for so long is the fact that Vergo had possession of Law's heart, but as soon as Law got his heart back due to the help of Smoker, the entire fight changed and basically ended instantly with this impressive feat right here. Although some fans may hate this moment, this is definitely one of the best moments in the show. Blackbeard may have had some underhanded tactics, but that just solidifies him as a pirate and a great villain. This was the first and only time in the story that we have ever seen a character with 2 devil fruit powers, as we have learned that if someone consumes 2 devil fruits, they are most definitely going to die. The biggest question here is definitely, how was Blackbeard able to pull this off? Was it because of his unique devil fruit ability? Was it because he has a different kind of body? Or was it a mix of both for him to be able to maintain 2 devil fruit powers and not die? Although this was an off-screen fight, I feel it would be somewhat of a disrespect not to mention this. This is without a doubt one of the best moments in the story, and it's also definitely a fight that the majority of the fan base would love to see. Let's hope Oda blesses us with a flashback in the near future. What makes this so great is basically just the utter destruction that was caused by only 2 characters. Aokiji and Akainu's fight was so destructive that it permanently changed the climate of an entire island. One half of the island is basically just left a winterish disaster, and the other half is basically an inferno. The amount of destruction caused by the devil fruit leads me to believe that they fought with their power in its awakened form. As we saw with Doflamingo, when he used his devil fruit in its awakened form, it was able to affect the environment around him. And here, Akainu and Aokiji changed the entire landscape of an island permanently. Another crazy thing about this fight is that the fight lasted for 10 days, which is an indication that they were pretty much evenly matched, plus the fact that the devil fruit abilities basically cancel each other's out. Since the beginning of the story, one of the biggest things the fanbase was curious about was how strong is Goldie Roger. Goldie Roger was the Pirate King, and that title came with a massive amount of hype, and it gave us a massive amount of curiosity concerning his power because the character was being pushed as the strongest pirate, and in the recent arc we got to see glimpses of that power. Although the fight between the Whitebeard pirates and the Roger pirates stretched over a few days, it was still being displayed as a brief sequence in the anime, but even though it was so short, it was still a dream come true for us One Piece fans. Roger and Whitebeard's haki output was so powerful that their weapons didn't even touch each other. Also, the animation in the scene was also great, which made this even more amazing to watch. Another great thing about this confrontation is that this feat also surpassed the Shanks and Whitebeard class and the Big Mom and Kaido class. Those classes, although impressive, only managed to split the clouds in half, while the Roger and Whitebeard class completely blew the clouds out of the sky, just showing us why these two have the biggest known bounties in the story, and showing us exactly why these pirates are the most infamous pirates in the entire One Piece story. I think we can all agree One Piece has no shortage of shocking or emotional scenes, and this right here is one of the most shocking scenes in the story. Ace dies after saving Luffy from Akainu, one of the most heartbreaking moments in the story, but it's also coupled with one of the most satisfying moments in the story as we see Whitebeard going into a rage and destroying Akainu for what he did. While watching the Paramount War, we were all curious to see how strong Whitebeard really is because he was hyped up as the strongest man in the world, and although we didn't get to see his prime power here, just the display of power he shows against Akainu was beautiful to watch. Although Whitebeard landed some powerful attacks on Akainu, this was not a one-sided fight. Had Whitebeard not been sick, the outcome of this fight would have been completely different. Akainu even managed to burn Whitebeard's insides, a move that would have surely killed a lesser opponent, but Whitebeard's love for Ace motivated him to get back in the fight and land a devastating final blow on Akainu that rocked the entire Marine Fort. Whitebeard did not succeed in killing Akainu, but he was able to give us one of the most satisfying beatdowns in the One Piece story. Just watching Whitebeard destroy Akainu is definitely one of the most satisfying moments in the story or in anime, and the amount of punishment Whitebeard endured in this fight is also very impressive. For years, the moment where Zoro takes all of Luffy's pain was one of the best moments in One Piece, but I feel that this has officially dethroned that epic scene. This Oden flashback is easily the best flashback and the most deserving flashback we have ever had in the One Piece story. These flashbacks include a lot of great moments, from Oden meeting Roger and Whitebeard to Whitebeard and Roger having one of the best clashes in the story, but there is no better moment than this. This could easily be viewed as one of the saddest moments in the story, but it's also one of the best moments. Oden sacrificing his own life to save that of his friends. Not only is this one of the bravest moments in the story, but it's also one of the most impressive. After losing the fight to Kaido, Oden and his retainers were given the death sentence by being boiled to death. Oden made a deal stating that if he could stand in the boiling oil for an entire hour, his friends should be released. Oden stood in a flaming pot of boiling oil for an entire hour while carrying his friends. Oil that was burning hotter than 700 degrees Celsius and rising. He made it through the hour, and he then was killed by Kaido, and he died with a smile on his face, much like former Pirate King Goldie Roger.